What if I told you that the $500 sitting in your bank account right now could be the foundation of your entire financial future? Most people think you need thousands of dollars to start investing, but that's the biggest lie the financial world has been telling you. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn that modest $500 into a wealth-building machine that works for you 24/7, even while you sleep. But here's the thing that nobody talks about. The difference between people who build wealth and those who stay broke isn't the amount of money they start with. It's what they do with whatever money they have. I've seen people turn $500 into $50,000, and I've seen people with $50,000 end up with nothing. The secret isn't in the amount, it's in the system. So if you're sitting there thinking $500 isn't enough to matter, you're about to discover why that mindset is keeping you poor. And if you're ready to change that, then buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the beginner's blueprint that could literally transform your financial destiny. Before we jump into the specific strategies, let me ask you something. How many times have you told yourself you'll start investing when you have more money? Next month, next year, when you get that raise, when you pay off that debt? Sound familiar? This waiting game is costing you more than you realize, and I'm going to prove it to you with some numbers that will shock you. Let's say you wait 5 years to start investing your $500. If you invest that money today in a diversified portfolio, earning an average of 8% annually, in 30 years, you'd have over $5,000. But if you wait those 5 years, you'd only have about $3,400. That 5-year delay just cost you over $1,600. That's the power of compound interest, and it's why, starting today, even with just $500, is more important than waiting for the perfect moment. Now, I know what you're thinking. 8% returns sound great, but how realistic is that? Let me break down the math for you. The stock market has historically averaged about 10% annual returns over long periods. Even if we're conservative and assume 8%, your money doubles approximately every 9 years. That means your $500 becomes $1,000 in 9 years, $2,000 in 18 years, and $4,000 in 27 years, all without adding a single penny more. But here's where it gets really exciting. What if you don't just invest that $500 once and forget about it? What if you make it a habit to invest regularly? Even adding just $50 a month to your investment account could turn your $500 start into over $100,000 in 30 years. That's the difference between thinking small and thinking systematically. Let me share the 4-pillar strategy that makes this possible. First, we need to talk about your foundation. Before you invest a single dollar, you need to have your financial house in order. This means having a small emergency fund, paying off high-interest debt, and understanding your monthly cash flow. I'm not saying you need to be perfect, but you need to be stable enough that you won't need to pull your investments out in a few months. Here's the reality check most financial advisors won't give you. If you have credit card debt charging you 18% interest, paying that off is essentially giving you a guaranteed 18% return on your money. No stock market investment can guarantee that. So if you're carrying high-interest debt, your $500 might be better used there first. But if you're debt-free or only have low-interest debt like a mortgage or student loans, then investing that $500 is your next move. The second pillar is choosing the right investment vehicle. With $500, you're not going to be buying individual stocks or complex investment products. You need something simple, diversified, and low cost. This is where index funds and exchange-traded funds become your best friends. These funds allow you to own tiny pieces of hundreds or thousands of companies with just one purchase. Let me explain why this matters. When you buy an index fund that tracks the S&P 500, you're essentially buying a small piece of the 500 largest companies in America. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Tesla, and 495 other companies all working to grow your wealth. If one company fails, you barely notice. If the overall economy grows, you win. This is diversification at its finest, and it's available to you with just $500. The third pillar is understanding the different types of accounts you can use. This is where many beginners make costly mistakes. You have several options, and each has different tax implications. A traditional brokerage account gives you complete flexibility, but no tax advantages. A Roth IRA gives you tax-free growth, but limits how much you can contribute and when you can withdraw. A traditional IRA gives you a tax deduction now, but you'll pay taxes when you withdraw in retirement. For most beginners with $500, I recommend starting with a Roth IRA if you qualify. Here's why. You can contribute up to $6,000 per year, and all the growth is tax-free. Plus, you can withdraw your contributions at any time without penalty. This gives you flexibility while still building for retirement. If you're already maximizing your Roth IRA or don't qualify, then a regular brokerage account is your next best option. The fourth pillar is automation and consistency. This is where most people fail, not because they don't understand investing, but because they don't create systems that work without willpower. You need to automate your investments so they happen whether you're motivated or not. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your investment account, and set up automatic purchases of your chosen index funds. Now let's get specific about how to actually implement this strategy. First, you need to choose a brokerage platform. There are several excellent options that have no minimum balance requirements and no fees for buying index funds. Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, and several others offer these services. Don't get paralyzed by choice here. They're all good options, and you can always transfer your account later if needed. Once you've opened your account, you'll need to choose your investments. For beginners, I recommend starting with a total stock market index fund. This gives you exposure to the entire U.S. stock market in one fund. Alternatively, you could choose a target date fund, which automatically adjusts the mix of stocks and bonds based on when you plan to retire. These funds are designed to be more aggressive when you're young and more conservative as you approach retirement. Here's a specific example of how this might look. Let's say you're 25 years old and you open a Roth IRA with Fidelity. You invest your $500 in the Fidelity Total Market Index Fund. This fund has an expense ratio of just 0.015%, meaning you'll pay only 15 cents per year for every $100 invested. You then set up automatic investments of $100 per month into the same fund. At this rate, you'd be investing $1,200 per year plus your initial $500. If you maintain this for 40 years until retirement, assuming an 8% average return, you'd have over $1.7 million, and that's starting with just $500 and adding $100 per month. That's the power of consistency and compound growth. But what if you can't commit to $100 per month? What if you can only add $25 monthly? You'd still end up with over $400,000. Even if you never add another penny after that initial $500, you'd still have over $10,000 at retirement. The key is to start and then optimize as you go. Let me address some common concerns and mistakes that trip up beginners. First, don't try to time the market. You'll hear about market crashes, recessions, and the best times to invest. Ignore all of it. The best time to invest is when you have money to invest. The second best time is tomorrow. Markets go up and down, but over long periods, they trend upward. Your job is to stay invested through the ups and downs. Second, don't get distracted by individual stocks or hot investment tips. Yes, some people get rich buying individual stocks, but many more lose money. Stick to diversified index funds until you have a much larger portfolio and more experience. Even then, most of your money should probably stay in index funds. Third, don't panic during market downturns. Your investments will lose value sometimes. This is normal and expected. In fact, market downturns are opportunities to buy more shares at lower prices. If you're young and investing for the long term, market crashes are actually good for you because they allow you to accumulate more shares while prices are low. Fourth, don't forget about fees. Even small fees can eat into your returns over time. A fund with a 1% annual fee will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 40-year investment period. Compared to a fund with a 0.1% fee, always check the expense ratio before investing. Now, let's talk about some advanced strategies you can implement as you get more comfortable. One powerful technique is dollar cost averaging. Instead of investing your $500 all at once, you could invest $100 per month for 5 months. This spreads out your purchase over time and can reduce the impact of market volatility. However, studies show that investing a lump sum immediately usually produces better results than dollar cost averaging, so don't feel like you have to wait. Another strategy is tax loss harvesting, but this is more relevant once you have larger amounts invested in taxable accounts. The basic idea is to sell investments that have lost value to offset gains from other investments, reducing your tax bill. This is complex, and usually not worth worrying about until you have tens of thousands of dollars invested. Rebalancing is another important concept. Over time, different parts of your portfolio will grow at different rates. If you start with 80% stocks and 20% bonds, after a few years you might have 90% stocks and 10% bonds if stocks have performed well. Rebalancing means selling some stocks and buying more bonds to get back to your target allocation. Many target date funds do this automatically. Let me share some real-world examples to make this concrete. Sarah started investing at age 22 with just $500. She chose a simple 3-fund portfolio, a total stock market index fund, an international stock index fund, and a bond index fund. She invested 70% in U.S. stocks, 20% in international stocks, and 10% in bonds. She added $150 per month and rebalanced once per year. After 15 years, her portfolio was worth over $40,000. Mike took a different approach. He started at age 30 with $500, but could only add $50 per month. He chose a single target date fund and automated everything. He never had to think about rebalancing or choosing new investments. After 20 years, his portfolio was worth over $30,000, and he was on track for a comfortable retirement. Jessica started with $500 at age 28, but had an irregular income as a freelancer. Instead of setting up automatic monthly investments, she committed to investing any extra money she earned. Some months she invested nothing, other months she invested several $100s. Her key was consistency over time, not consistency from month to month. After 12 years, she had built a 6-figure portfolio. These examples show that there's no single right way to invest, but there are common principles that work. Start early, invest consistently, keep fees low, stay diversified, and don't try to time the market. Your $500 can grow into something significant if you give it time and feed it regularly. Before we wrap up, let me address the elephant in the room. $500 feels like a small amount in a world where houses cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and college tuition is tens of thousands per year. But remember, every wealthy person started somewhere. Warren Buffett bought his first stock at age 11 with $114. That's about $1,500 in today's money. Jeff Bezos started Amazon with a $300,000 investment from his parents, but he had to start building wealth somehow to get to that point. The truth is, building wealth is less about having a lot of money and more about developing good financial habits. When you start investing with $500, you're not just investing money, you're investing in yourself. You're learning how markets work, how to manage risk, how to think long-term, and how to delay gratification. These skills are worth far more than $500. Your $500 investment today is your declaration that you're serious about building wealth. It's your first step toward financial independence. It's proof that you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of current consumption for a lot of future wealth. And most importantly, it's the foundation that everything else will be built on. So here's your action plan. First, make sure you have your financial foundation in place. Pay off high-interest debt and save a small emergency fund. Second, choose a reputable brokerage and open an account. Third, invest your $500 in a diversified index fund. Fourth, set up automatic investments, even if it's just $25 per month. Fifth, forget about your investments and let compound interest work its magic. Remember, the best investment you can make is in yourself and your future. That $500 sitting in your account right now isn't just money, it's potential. It's the seed that could grow into the tree that provides shade for your entire financial future. Don't let it sit there earning nothing. Put it to work and let time and compound interest turn it into something amazing. The journey to wealth doesn't start with $1 million. It starts with a single dollar invested with purpose and patience. Your $500 is more than enough to begin that journey. The only question is whether you're ready to take that first step. Your future self is counting on the decision you make today.